Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
The doubt is regarding who is Vaishanara, whether he is Atman or whether he is Agni or whether he is Lord Vishnu or digestion.
Yes.
Because Vaishanara is an ambiguous word and it has multiple meanings.
Yes. Vaishvanar has many multiple meanings. So what exactly it is? Is it Atman, fire of digestion, or is it Agni, the Lord, I mean demigod, or Vishnu, Lord Vishnu? Very good. Next, then the Purva Pakshis, that means those who are going to debate. So the debaters, what are they going to tell about Vaishvanara? What do they think Vaishvanara is? Who is Vaishvanara according to Purva Paksh?
They say, Mataji, that this meaning is not clear. No clear interpretation.
Name is not ambiguity is there, okay, and complications are there, so they are not sure about what it is, right? Okay, very good. So, what is the final conclusion we come after we see all this?
Siddhanta. Siddhanta.
Yeah. What is
Srila
it?
Vyas, they gave the proper and contextual all meaning of that verses. So we can then it can be proved that Vaishvanara is not other than Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes, so that will come to that by seeking it. So, what is the Vedic conclusion telling us now? Means, see, there is so much confusion, right? So, the Vedic conclusions, what are they saying? Is it very clear? It's a little bit difficult. So, they are forcing us, urging us, come on, let us come together and let us try to see who is this divine personality. Right. So let's see who it is. Okay. So we'll go to the third slide. In this, can someone tell me what is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.6.27, which brings us to the conclusion about the meaning of the word Vaishvanara?
Aham Vaishwanara Bhutva
That one
Prani.
is Bhagavatam, not Bhagavad Gita.
Vaishnava
Yes, yes.
conclusion denotes
That is
it is
Gita.
Hare Krishna Mataji. It says
Yes.
that Lord Vishnu is emphasizing liberation through this understanding of the qualities are attributed to Vaishnava aligns with Lord Vishnu.
Yes, very good. So all the qualities which are given are not something to do with. Okay, what is that qualities, Mataji? Anybody can tell? What is that which is not aligning with other things, but that means we are not aligning to a demigod, not aligning to the element called fire, not aligning to this. So, what is it aligning with? Lord Vishnu. Okay, what is this? What are those things which is described by this Bhagavatam verse? Anybody can tell? This Bhagavatam verse is told, no scriptural support is given. Anybody can? It's not there in this slide, but then you
Only Lord is giving liberation. Nobody can give liberation.
Yeah, that is the conclusion, Mataji. But I am asking, what is that particular thing?
Cosmic aspects of the Lord.
Very good. Cosmic aspects. What is that? Anything, any small example you can give?
That
See,
he
we
is
are
a supreme
referring to
controller.
this verse 3.6.27. Yes, Samta Mataji.
That he is the supreme controller. Like that fire cannot control the whole cosmos, right?
Yes,
So
very good.
Lord is controlling.
Hmm.
So
But do you remember those 5 Brahmanas who went to um, first they went to Uddalaka. After that, Uddalaka sent them to one king. Hmm? So, so,
Mataji,
हाँ,
sorry, Mataji, it is भगवान वो सब जगह सब चीज में हर चीज हम आकाश हेवन पृथ्वी
very good.
ऐसे वैश्वानर हम पूजा करते हैं तो वो उसकी पूजा हो रही है सुप्रीम लॉर्ड की पूजा हो रही है इट मींस
So these
भगवान इज
5 Brahmanas were worshipping the 5 different aspects, right? And thinking
जी
Vaishvanara, one person was thinking Vaishvanara was heavenly
हेवन
planet. Second person was thinking Vaishvanara was like that.
water,
Water, earth,
and
fire.
fire.
earth, yes,
Okay,
fire.
right. Very good. You are
आयु
coming now to the answer. So now you tell me, what is this 3.6.27?
Everything is made by, everything is created by Him, Lord. Everything is created by him. So
What?
it is the
Yeah.
part of the Supreme Personality of
No,
Godhead.
no. My question is, why
Lord
is
is
it? See, this is what is these attributes which are aligning with Lord Vishnu, not aligning with heavenly plan, not aligning with this, not aligning with why? What is that particular mention in the Srimad Bhagavatam? Okay, I'll tell you the one meaning before. I think nobody knows about it. You can just read it once
Mata,
again. It is there in the.
Mataji, Supreme Lord
Mataji,
is in every kan. He is pervading all.
No, the
He's,
thing
he's,
is that
Mataji,
why, my question is, please listen to the question. Question is why it is not Agni? Why it is not this like that? So, Sapta Mataji gave one answer correct. Uh, I know the attributes of Lord Vishnu. I am asking you why it is not aligning with the others. That is the question.
Because these elements are not controlling the cosmos, no?
divine
They
qualities.
are being controlled. They are being
Yeah.
controlled.
Okay. So the answer will be why? Because see, anybody, any Agni or demigod or any person, can they say that my head is the heavenly planets, the my air blowing, the Vayu is my entire the air which is blowing through my body,
Because Mataji, Supreme Personality of
the
Godhead
earth,
के हेड
one
से
minute.
हेड
The
से
earth is
मस्तक
the
में
one
से
minute,
स्वर्ग
Mataji,
का.
1 minute, 1 minute. The
Yes.
earth is my legs. So what is this describing? They are describing their description of the entire body of Lord Vishnu in the form of
Virat.
Virata Purusha, right? So that is being described. So any entity, like maybe fire, maybe element, maybe Agni, maybe nobody can claim these attributes. So therefore, these attributes only align with Lord Vishnu. That is mentioned in this Bhagavatam verse.
Yeah.
If you read the Bhagavatam,
Like yesterday in class, Radha Vinood Prabhuji described that earth is the feet of
yes,
Lord.
yes, correct.
So
That is
yesterday
that
we
is
saw
that
that.
is mentioned in the
Yeah.
verse of this Bhagavatam. Okay, there is mentioned in the third. If you go and read this verse in the Bhagavatam, you will understand.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so we will go to the next slide. Anybody can chant the verse. But Deepti Mataji, you were chanting
uh,
15.14.
Mataji, that is aham
Aham Vaishnav.
Vaishvanara bhutva praninam devamasrita. Uh, I don't know.
Prana
प्राणापान समायुक्त पचामन्नम चतुर्विधम.
Chaturvidam. Very good.
Chaturvidam.
So this is the verse we are going to we are seeing here in this slide from the Bhagavad Gita, which gives us the scriptural support. Why? What in confirming that identity of Vaishvanara? What is the identity of Vaishvanara? So that is telling us in this verse. Okay, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva. Krishna is saying Aham. Okay, we will see how that Aham is, what it is, and all that we will see. Okay, little bit more in detail in the next slides. Okay, slide number 5. How can we affirm that Vaishvanara is not mere fire? There's some affirmity. There is one thing which you can do. Okay, we just said the attributes are not the same. Vaishvanara's attributes don't match. Okay, that is one thing. All right. Okay, one practical example is given. One practical exercise is given.
The form of the Lord.
Okay, very good. Form of the Lord. One practical
By
example
which
is
we
given.
can meditate in heart.
Ah, very good.
Very
Then
small form, like Angushta Matramalam. ऐसा form.
Angushtamatra. Yes. Like human like form, right?
Yes, human-like form.
Okay. Then something happens when we cover our ears. Anybody has noticed? Vaishvanara is not merely fire, okay? Because everybody, I don't know whether you have noticed, but you cover your ears like this. When you cover your
There's
ears like
some
this,
noise, vibration,
that
like
sound of the fire you
yes,
can hear
sound.
from within.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, that is Vaishvanara. You can meditate like that also. Okay, so next. Uh, Here, okay, in this slide, how is Agni rejected as being Vaishvanara? See, I will read this. I will, because everybody cannot remember. I will read this Rig Veda 10.88.3. I will read the this Rig Veda verse so that you will understand and then you can reply. Agni is he who, by his brilliance as the sun, has expanded himself to cover the earth, the heavens, the space between them. This is what is Rig Veda saying.
It's poetic praise.
Okay. What does it mean?
The
Mataji,
meaning-
it has
Not
on
ontological evidence.
the Lord
Yes.
sometimes referred to as Agni. His one name is Agni.
Very good, very good. Mataji, Dipti Mataji.
So he covers, his head covers heaven. His stomach, from the stomach, Akash is created separately. His legs are.
Oh, that was the answer for the first. Now this one, only Agni Mataji, only Agni. Okay, I will tell. See, what Dipti Mataji said is correct. Little bit more. Dipti Mataji said that one name of Agni. Actually, one name of Vishnu is Agni. Like that she said, right? So that is correct. Sometimes all these demigods, when we say all these demigods have got their names, actually those names are all Vishnu's names, but they have been given to the demigods because of their particular activities. Like Agni is the one who is going to give us fire and this heat and light and all that. So therefore Agni has got the name of Vishnu as Agni. So this is what it is, and this, how we can explain this is like when we say, see, when the Vedas are saying Agni, it really doesn't mean Agni, but it means Vishnu. How will you say this? Example, by giving an example, then example we see that, so a regular person is there, okay, he is representing the nation. For example, in Olympics, somebody won a gold medal in the Olympics, okay, let us say Mr. XYZ. So Mr. XYZ has won a gold medal for a particular nation. What will be he said? He will be said, will say that India got a gold medal, right? So India got a gold medal. So that means, is that person's name India? Is that person India, the whole world, the whole nation? No, right? When say India got the gold medal means the person is representing India, and therefore when he receives a gold medal, India means India receives the gold medal. So it's like that. So Agni is doing some activity because India has empowered him. India has given him so many training. India has given him the way to go to the Olympics. He has supported him all the way. So this is the way the Lord empowers those some living entities like Agni to do their activities. When they do that particular activity, when they become great, and they receive that name called Agni. So although in this Vedic verse it may be said that Agni, but it is referred to Vaishvanara as Agni, but Vaishvanara is actually Vishnu, because he is the one, he is being empowered by him. The Agni is acting, but the name actually is, main thing is Vishnu, because similarly being empowered by the Lord to act as his representative, Agni is sometimes referred to as demigod and sometimes as the Lord. Okay, when it's referred to the Lord means it's actually Vishnu. Is this point clear, everyone? Shall we go to the next verse?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
So we can understand like this, that everything is made by Lord, but given the power, so they can perform the activities.
Yes.
They can represent the Lord.
Yes, correct.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, now we come to the next slide. Here, what is the conclusive statement of Jaimini? Jaimini made one conclusive statement. What is that conclusive statement? What is his opinion?
That the word Agni may be interpreted directly to Supreme Personality of God.
Because
Because there is no consistency, there is no other this is in support rather than Supreme Personality of God.
what is the meaning of Agni here? Meaning, word
Meaning.
meaning.
So that Supreme Personality of God. It refers to
It is
Supreme
referred to Supreme Personality of Godhead here,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Jaimini said, why is Jaimini said like that is because there is one more meaning to word Agni. The one more
Divine,
meaning to word
divine
Agni is,
significance. Vaishnavara, Vaishvanara.
yeah, the one more
And
meaning to this word Agni is leader of all. Okay, please remember this, leader of all, which is also a name of Vishnu. Okay, so Jaimini is concluding that there is no contradiction in this, no contradiction in saying that Lord is Vishnu, Agni is Vishnu. Okay, because of this, it doesn't mean Agni is the demigod Agni, but Agni is leader of all Agni, and that is Lord Vishnu.
Because here it has divine significance.
So, see, all the names of demigods, please remember, all the names of demigods are originally names of Lord Vishnu. Okay, and refer to him only in all their primary meaning. So, what is the primary meaning of Agni? Leader of all. Who is leader of all?
Lord
Vaishwanara or
Vishnu.
Vishnu.
Lord
So, that
Vishnu.
is his primary meaning. Then, after that, secondarily only they refer to demigods. Okay, is it clear? Shall we go to the next one? Next passage. Here, in this, how does the Shvetashvatara Upanishad support sage Ashmaratya's description of the super soul within the heart? So Ashmaratya has already told what is his opinion, that the super soul is this big, right? He says this is the size of the super soul, and he says that that super soul is within the heart, right? He has said this. All right. So how does this Shvetashvatara Upanishad 3.12 to 13, how does it confirm with this?
It
It confirms the presence within the heart,
Yes.
Lord.
So how is it explained?
We can, for devotee, it is accessible. When they do meditation, we cannot meditate on Virat Swarupa.
Very
We
good.
can, very small thing we can focus then. So for that, for compassion towards devotee, he made the small form, so devotee can meditate.
Yes. So, how he confirmed from the Shvetashvatara Upanishad is supporting Ashmaratya. How they are supporting Ashmaratya is that Supreme Lord becomes the Purusha to initiate the expansion of this cosmos. Now cosmos is there and expansion should be done. So he is taking that form, and he is also Shirakshay Vishnu. Shirakshay Vishnu is going into everybody's heart, is all mentioned in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. In this verse 12 and 13, what it is saying of 3.12 and 13, that the Lord he has a perfectly pure goal. Okay, that the yogis want to strive, they want to go and reach the Lord. That goal is the Lord. Okay, why they want to lead, how they will do it? By meditating in the heart, as Mataji said. Okay, so he is now measuring the size of the thumb. They say size of the thumb, or like this portion. So that is mentioned in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, that he lives within the heart, and he is the size of Angushta Matra. See, so is the size of the thumb. So it's mentioned that there is the Lord's presence in the heart, and he is of the size of this thumb. So because of this confirms that the presence of the Lord is there within the heart, which is mentioned by Jaimini Rishi. Okay, so we go to the
Even
next.
Parikshit Maharaj said that.
Yes, Parikshit Maharaj has said
Parikshit
that.
Maharaj said that.
Yes. And according to sage Badari, okay, there is another sage, why has the Lord taken such a small form within our heart? Now comes the answer which Raksha Mataji gave partly in the previous. Why has the Lord taken such a small form within our heart?
So that,
Because
that
it is convenient to meditate
Yes, it aids in meditation.
because of the small
So,
size.
And we can develop the personal relationship.
yes, very good. So that's why the Lord has taken. Now, the last and final question, what does Jaimini say about the Lord's form and size in this sutra. In this particular sutra, what does he say about the size and the form of the Lord? What Jaimini says?
The form
He
is
says,
Lord is personal form, and the size is the distance between the thumb and the fingers.
In this
Mataji,
sutra,
God
that was
has
in the
immense
previous
Because
sutra, right?
potential.
because of his transcendental powers and opulences, the Supreme Personality can assume very small size because of this
Yes,
power
very good,
and
Harsha Mataji. So
opulences.
this is the what answer I was looking for. That is, although the Lord is so huge, Virat, and he is so huge, Vibhu, but because of his transcendental powers and opulences, he can become so small and stay within our heart also. And that is for our sake only, for us to meditate, for us to see him, for our sake only he comes and stays within our heart to do Upadrishta, Anumanta, everything. So, but because of his
We can
such
say
an
Ananta
inconceivable,
form. Ananta
this
Rupa Bhagwan
because
धारण
of
कर
his,
सकते हैं.
yes, Mataji, because
Yes.
of his inconceivable potency, we cannot
Yes.
conceive because he is so
Inconceivable.
vibhu and still he becomes anu for our sake, because he becomes, therefore he is inconceivable potency he has.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you all very much for this wonderful seva. Hare Krishna. Hare
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Mataji.
thank you,
Mataji. Wonderful
Mataji.
teaching,
Dandavat
Seva.
Pranam.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna Mataji.
Pranam.
Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji.
आप ये कह सकते हैं कि
I missed.
भगवान है वो हर चीज में, हर एक एक कण में, छोटे से छोटे कण में वो प्रेजेंट है.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Prasad Prabhu, over
Thank
to you.
you. Thank you, Archana Mataji. Thank you very much. Wonderful seva. The last week, okay, with the blessings of all devotees, we did Radha Yatra in 2 schools and 2 communities. Okay, it went very well. I'll try to share short videos and then some pictures soon. Yeah. So everybody has received the Jagannath, Lord Jagannath in Hyderabad very, very well. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's the reason I think
Haribol Prabhu.
it's the last session. Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna. Let me share my screen. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Hope you are able to see the screen. Okay. So we are starting the lesson 19, that is Sutra 1.3.1 to 1.3.7. That is Adhikarana 1. That is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Abode of Heaven. That is the Adhikarana we are going to see. So let's
So
move
we are
to the next
starting a
slide.
third chapter, okay. No, I'm sorry, yeah, third, chapter
Third
1,
pada.
third,
Yeah,
yeah,
yes, yes. Yeah, third chapter.
third
Adhikarana.
chapter.
Yes, yes. So before jumping here, like I would like to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for 3 times, and then I'll kick off. And then I would like to take the blessings of you all, and then we'll start. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Hare Krishna. Let's start here. Yes, as usual. Okay. For this particular Adhikarana, for the chapter 3, that is 1.3.1 to 1.3.7, the Supreme Person of the Godhead is the Abode of Heaven. So in that, first let us see the Vishaya. Okay, that is thesis or statement. Yeah. So
Actually,
in
it's not
this,
chapter 3, it's chapter 1, but the third
chapter.
quarter, third pada.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Chapter 1 of third pada.
Third
Correct.
quarter.
Pada. Yes.
Yeah, third pada, correct. So it has total 7 sutras. First, let us see the Vishaya and a few other things. Okay, in a standard way, and then we'll go to sutras. So Prabhuji has drafted under the Vishya, okay, this thesis or statement in total 4 parts. The first theme is here existential vulnerability. Okay, let's understand. So here, before Vyasadeva begins his philosophical discussion, okay, he addresses the universal human experience, okay, in this world. So every person, regardless of the cultural background, okay, we all experiencing what? Insecurity and anxiety. Okay, yes or no? It all at a different levels. Yeah. So we worry about our health, we worry about relationship, we worry about our wealth, reputation, and ultimately people in general worry about the ultimate thing which comes in our life is death. Yeah. So although these concerns appear very different, they all arise from a deeper question. Okay, what is that question? Where can I find the lasting shelter? Yes or no? So people naturally search for a security. Yes or no? Security for wealth, security for power, knowledge, and relationship. But actually, Upanishads pointed that everything within this material world is temporary. So if our shelter is temporary, our peace will be very temporary. So our we should not be taking the shelter in a temporary thing. We should take the shelter which is very permanent. That is where this is adhikarana is coming. So therefore, this adhikarana begins by directing our attention towards the only permanent shelter. What is a permanent shelter? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is okay, ayatana, the ultimate okay of everything. Yes or no? So that is what this particular thing focus. So every living being is searching for happiness, Prabhuji's Mataji's, because we are eternally related to Krishna. So real security is found not in temporary material arrangements, but reviving our forgotten relationship. Let's take a simple example. If a child may feel safe holding a toy, but when some danger comes suddenly, okay, the child naturally returns to his parents. Yes, sir. Agree, disagree. Similarly, material arrangements may provide a temporary comfort in a very short period, but soul ultimately seeks for the shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in this particular first theme, what is a key takeaway for us is the search of lasting security ultimately leads to a search of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. Let's move on to the second theme, that is role of theories. There are so many theories in this particular world. So what are the role of different theories? One second, let me just minimize my laptop so that I can see my text, what is being presented here clearly. Yeah, slightly better. Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna. So, when the people seek answers to their life uncertainties, different philosophy naturally arises. So, some conclude that everything originates from unconscious matter. Others believe that individually self is the highest reality. Still, others deny any ultimate purpose altogether. So, the Brahma Sutras, which we are studying actually, carefully examines all these ideas, not to dismiss them unfairly, but to determine whether they are truly agree with Upanishads or not. So, this is a unique approach of Vedanta. Yeah. So, it is invites inquiry, evaluates different explanation, and finally establishes the interpretation that the best fits in revealed scriptures. So, see, our Vedanta doesn't force on any particular thing.
This voice is there. I'm not able to hear.
Yeah, Prabhu, we cannot hear you, Prabhu.
Prasad Prabhuji, we are not able to hear you.
May have an internet issue.
Prasad Prabhu, you have muted yourself.
Hare Krishna. For some reason, Zoom got disconnected. I'm extremely sorry for that. So, what is a, I hope I'm audible now. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mata.
No,
So,
very good.
in the role of the theory is, what is the key takeaway for it is Vedanta welcoming inquiry, but bases its conclusions on the scriptures evidence rather than just speculation. Yeah. So let us understand what is this divine control thing. Okay, which is coming at part of Vishaya. Yeah. So having introduced the search of the ultimate reality, the next question naturally follows is who actually governs this universe? Who actually governs this universe? This is the one of the question, right? See, before even coming to the Krishna conscious, so I was part of the different organization, and also I used to have this question, okay, in my mind: who actually governing? Some people say that there is a God, and some people say no, there is no God. Okay, who actually governs this universe? But if you see, the Vedic conclusion is that universe is not functioning independently or accidentally. Prabhuji's mother is. Let's take some examples. Behind its remarkable order of Supreme Personal Godhead, the sun exactly rises with precision. Agree, disagree? It exactly rises. Okay. So the season changes harmony. Yes or no? Okay. The laws of nature operates constantly. Yes or no? So see, the order points the intelligence. Okay, there is an intelligence controller. We could clearly see that when you see this nature. Agree, disagree? So the purpose of this adhikarana is to identify that controller, not the impersonal force, but what is that adhikarana is to? The Supreme Person of the Godhead, to clearly see that. So this prepares us for the first sutra where the abode of heaven and earth will be identified. So it is going to elevate us very clearly. Okay. What is that? The divine of control. Okay. So a beautifully functioning watch, okay, if you see, suggests the existence of watchmaker. Yes or no? If you see a watch in front of me, which is there here, which is showing 7:15, okay, a watchmaker is there. Likewise, the harmony of the universe points towards an intelligent supreme controller. Yes or no? So, what is the takeaway from this particular theme? The divine control is the order of universe points towards an intelligent supreme controller, not behind a chance. Just behind a chance, things doesn't happen just like that. Prabhuji's Mataji's. There is so much planning happened behind conducting all these sessions, right? Yes or no? Is that happening just like that? No, right? For such a this universe to function such a beautiful way, do you think there is nothing happens? Just a chance will be there? No, right? So this theme is going to further elevate, okay, this Vishaya and this Adhikarana is going to elevate for us. Yeah. So now the theme 4, let's understand God's existence. God's existence. So what is the God's existence? So all the 4 themes now cover into one central question, Prabhuji's Mataji's. What is that question? Who is the ultimate center? And who is the ultimate controller? And what is the ultimate reality? Yes, sir. So this is precisely question of Adhikarana 6 to answer. So Vyasadeva is demonstrates the one described in the Upanishads, neither unconscious matter nor the individual soul. Yeah. So so who is that controller? Okay, he is the supreme person of the Godhead who supports the universe, grants the liberation, and becomes the ultimate object of devotion for all of us. Yeah. So everything that we are seeing from the Sutra 1.3.1 to 1.3.7 simply a systematic proof which you are going to see next 1 hour, okay, or 1 hour 15 minutes, prove that one is a, okay, that this is one is a conclusion. The existence, the God's existence, the Supreme Person of the Godhead controller. Okay. So the purpose of this Harikarana is to identify the Supreme Lord as Ayatana, which is Ayatana means what you know, the ultimate support of and foundation of all the existence. Okay. That is what we are going to see. So what's the key takeaway for us? The entire Adhikarana is a systematic demonstration of that the Supreme Person of the Godhead alone is the ultimate support of everything. He is the ultimate support of everything. Now we are going to question few things. So once the topic has been introduced, the Brahma Sutra follows a classical structure of the Adhikarana. So the first lies the genuine doubt, examine the competing interpretations, okay, in interpretations, and then establish the final Siddhanta based upon our scriptures. Yes, sir. So that exactly what we will see in the next slide. Okay. So let us see what is that next slide in the standard format, which is talking here is what is the doubt? What is that samshaya? Yes, sir. The doubt, eraser of doubt. So having the introduction of the subject in the previous slide, okay, Vyasadeva now follows the classical method of Vedanta. He does not begin with just giving an answer. He first raises a genuine question. What is that question? The Upanishad speaks about, okay, the abode of heaven, earth, and everything else. Okay, that is what the Satikarna is talking about. And that is being referred as Supreme Person of the Godhead. Now, the question will come is, okay, whom does the description refer to? Okay, is it to Supreme Person of the Godhead? Or no, the question comes, listen very carefully. Could it be Pradhana? Okay, the material causa proposed by Sankhya philosopher. Could it be Jivatma? Okay, or that is refers to Supreme Person of the Godhead. So let us again listen very carefully. Okay, so the abode of heaven, earth, and everything else, okay, is being mentioned. Is that abode of heaven, earth, and everything else, okay, actually it is being referred as Supreme Person of the Godhead in the Adhikarana. But the question will come in the Vishya because it is not clearly mentioned. Will it could be Pradhana or it could be individual Jivatma, or does it refer to Supreme Person of the Godhead? Now the sutras which you are going to see from 1.3.1 to 1.3.7, it will rule out why it is not Pradhana, why it is not Jivatma, and why it is Supreme Person of the Godhead. All that will get a better clarity for all of us. Yeah. So this is not just an artificial doubt. It is an important philosophical question because of our understanding of the entire universe depending upon identifying the correct ayatana. Okay, that is ultimate support upon which is everything is resting. Yes or no? The abode of heaven, earth, and everything means what? The ultimate support of everything is resting. Yeah. So who is that? Who is, where is this entire universe is taking rest on the rest? Is that individual Divatma, or it is a Pradatma, or it is a Supreme Personality of Godhead? Yeah. So now let us see. So from the first theme, from this particular dawn, so what is the takeover is Vedanta begins with a honest question before presenting the final conclusion. That is the strength of this particular Govinda Bhashya. Okay, it will not straight away force in our mind saying that this is what it is. No, it will bring all the alternatives. Alternatives will be questioned with a logical points, and then it will be rolled out so that our faith will improve. Yes, sir. So now let us move to the theme 2, that is Purva Paksha. Hare Krishna, I just want to stop for a minute and see that is my voice is good and everything is going good. Are you able to hear properly?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, perfect, perfect.
Thank you. Okay. So in this Purvapaksha, let us see what is it we are going to discuss. Once a question has been raised, Vedanta gives a full consideration to the opposing view. Yes or no? So the Purvapaksha argues that Ayatana could be Pradhana because the material world appears to erase from the material elements. At first glance, this seems to be some reasonable when you just take a quick look. After all, everything we experience is through the mat, right? Yes or no? But however, Vedanta does not stop at the appearances. It asks the deeper questions like, can unconscious matter truly become the ultimate support of everything? Listen very carefully. Can unconscious matter, which is pradhana, okay, can ultimately support of everything? Can something without intelligence, purpose, or will finally cause described by the Upanishads? These questions prepare our for the refutation as follows. Yes or no? You will see that in the next slides. Just hold the information over here. What Purvapaksha is talking here. Yeah. So here Baladeva ji presents the opposition's points fairly before showing why it does not satisfy the complete context of Upanishad's passage. Yeah. So 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 let's understand very carefully. Yeah. So what is the takeaway is Vedanta carefully examines alternative explanation before accepting or rejecting them. Yeah. So now let us see Siddhanta. After seeing Siddhanta, let us understand uh, uh, each sutra from 1.2, 3.1.2, 1.7. Then we will understand very clearly. Okay. So what is the Siddhanta is talking here? Let us understand this and then we will see sutra one by one. So having examined the alternative view, Vesadeva now establishes the Vedantic conclusion. The Upanishads do not describe an unconscious principle. Okay, they describe a conscious supreme reality. Who is supporting this? Who is governing this universe? Who is liberating these souls? So therefore, Ayatana cannot be Pradhana. It must be Supreme Personality of the Godhead. The conclusion is not reached through a speculation. It is established by examining the words. And one more very important, not just examining the words and the context in that word is coming and overall intention of the scriptures that you have to see. So we have to examine the words. You should not be just leaving the words. You have to understand the context, and on top of that, you need to understand the overall intention of the scriptures. Then you will understand very clearly Prabhuji's methods. So from this point onwards, the remaining sutra systematically proves this conclusion which I just mentioned in Siddhanta. Okay. So now let us start and understand. Okay. What is this sutras are talking about? Before jumping into the sutras, okay, there is a summary or supporting scriptures evidence which is mentioned for 1.3.1 to 1.3.7. So first let us see what is that supporting scripture evidence for all these things, and then we will go to and understand each sutra. Okay. Hare Krishna. Now we move to slide 4. So, yeah, support narrative. Okay, let us see. What is this? The first sutra, the slide 4 is talking about. Okay. Hare Krishna. So, our final lesson emerges from this particular discussion. So, Vyasadeva is very cautious us against drawing the conclusions from isolated statements, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Okay, sometimes the individual scriptural phrases are interpreted without considering the overall context. That is the reason I said not words are important and then context is also very important. Yeah. So I'll just talk about one particular context here. One word. For example, expressions such as Tattvamasi have often been understood to mean complete identity between the individual soul and supreme. Identity between the individual soul and supreme. But Baladeva Vidyabhushana ji reminds that Vedanta must always be interpreted as a whole. So when all Upanishad statements are considered together, they constantly preserve both eternal relationship and the distinction between Jiva and Bhagavatma. That is why context is so important for us throughout the Brahma Sutras. Okay? Hare Krishna. So now let us see in this particular slide 4, what is the first theme is talking about the divine control. So total 5 themes Prabhuji has mentioned before jumping into the sutras. That is the supporting the spiritual evidence. And then we will see the each sutra. Okay. So the theme 1 is mentioned here, divine control. So having established the method of inquiry, Vyasadeva now turns to a strongest authority in Vedanta, that is Shruti. Okay, that is the revealed scriptures. The first point the scripture established is that the universe has a conscious controller. Okay, universe has a conscious controller. That is Bhagavad Gita, which is mentioned in 11.32. So let us understand the meaning. What is mentioned in 11.32? Let us understand very clearly. He says, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that I am the time. I am the destroyer of the worlds. So this statement reveals the behind the works of this universe stands the supreme person, supreme Lord. So creation, maintenance, and duration are not just accidental events. They are governed by someone. That someone is supreme. That is happening through supreme will. Yeah. So this ultimately supports the conclusion that the abode of heaven and earth must be conscious, must be a conscious supreme being rather than an unconscious principle. That is what we could understand from this divine control, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Yeah. So the universe points to a conscious controller, not an unconscious cons. It cannot happen. Okay, that is what the first theme we are understanding about the divine control. Now let us go to the next theme, which Prabhuji has wonderfully crafted, that is nature of material world. Okay, so let's understand a little bit of nature of material world. Once we recognize the Lord as a controller, the position of material world becomes very clear for us. Matter is real, but it is not false, but it is not independent. You have to remember one thing. If you talk about Advaita philosophy, it talks very different. But in our philosophy, actually matter is there. It is not false, but it is not independent. The material universe functions under the Lord's supervision and existence because he sustains it. That is why Vedanta never places a matter is the highest position. Matter is dependent. Bhagavan alone is independent. Yeah, Bhagavan alone is independent. That distinction is essential for understanding the sutras which are coming for us. Okay, even those sutras, how it is supporting the information which I said in this. Also, you will see each and every sutra elevates very clearly Prabhuji's Mataji's. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Let's take a simple example, Prabhuji's Mataji's, before jumping in. Electricity is enabling many functions to function. Yes or no? Many missions to function. Electricity is helping us to rotate the fan, light, washing machine, everything. Although the missions perform different tasks, none can operate independently of the power of source. Yes or no? Similarly, the universe also function because it is sustained by Supreme Personality of Godhead. So material world is dependent upon Bhagavan for both its existence and its order. Yeah, that is what we need to understand by seeing this nature of material world. Now let us move to the next theme, that is self-realization and devotional service. If the Lord is the ultimate support of everything, then the goal of spiritual life is naturally follows. The scriptures do not simply ask us to understand the God intellectually. They invite us to establish the relationship with Supreme Personality Godhead. So knowledge asks the question, who is supreme? So devotion answers the question, how should I respond to him? So this is why Upanishad consistently connects the realization with approaching, worshipping, and ultimately attaining the supreme person. Knowing reaches a That is through a perfection in bhakti. Yes or no? That is what it is been talking about. Okay, self-realization and devotional service. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada often says that the principles in beautifully real knowledge naturally culminates in a devotional service only. Yes, sir. So, what is a takeover from this particular theme 3? The purpose of knowledge is loving service to Supreme Person of the Godhead. Yeah. So, now let's move to the next theme, that is refutation of material theories. Now, let us understand what is this particular theme is talking about. Yeah. Because the scriptures consistently describes a conscious Supreme Lord. Materialistic explanation becomes insufficient. So, if you see, there is a Upanishad, that is Mukunda Upanishad, declares that everything rests in Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, today we will refer more on Mukunda Upanishad. Yeah, that is declaring that everything
Prabhu,
is
it is
resting.
Mundaka. Sorry to
Yes,
Sorry, yeah,
interrupt. It is
sorry,
Mundaka.
sorry.
Mundaka
Mukunda,
Upanishad.
yeah, yeah. Mundaka Upanishad. Sorry, Mataji. Yeah. The Mundaka Upanishad declares that everything rests on the Supreme Person of the Godhead. These descriptions cannot apply the unconscious matter. So now they can apply the finite Jiva. Okay. The scriptural evidence therefore narrows the possibility until only one conclusion, that is remains. That is, what is that conclusion? That is ayatana. Ayatana. That is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. Okay. So Baladevaji refutes the opposing views not merely through a logic, but also by demonstrating that they cannot be accommodated the full range of scriptural descriptions. Yeah. So what is key here, Okay. Bhagavan satisfies every description given in Upanishads, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Only Bhagavan fulfills all the characters described in the scriptures. Okay. So now let us move to the next theme, that is consequences of rebellion. So what is the final point in this particular theme, which is very practical for us? The scriptures is not merely describing reality, they are also guiding us towards it. When we ignore our relationship with the Supreme Lord, okay, that is where the problem for us, right? Okay, so much part in our life, we ignored our relationship with Supreme Lord. We became bound by material existence and continue to experience the cycle of karma. Yes or no? Agree, disagree. So when we recognize Him, when we recognize the Supreme Person of the Godhead as our ultimate shelter and act as a devotion, spiritual life is started for us. Yes or no? Thus, the discussion is not only philosophical, it is not just a philosophical discussion, Prabhuji's Mataji's. It is actually transformational for all of us. Yes or no? Are we not experiencing this transformational journey in our lives? In our lives, we have experienced, right? I have seen the change in my life, and you have seen the changes in all your lives. We may not become perfect, Prabhuji's Mataji's, but there is a change. Yes or no? The transformation happened. Okay. So the purpose of Vedanta is not simply to know the truth, but to live according to that truth. Yeah. So the right understanding should culminate the right living. Knowledge of Bhagavan is meant to transforming our seeker's life, Prabhuji's Mataji's. So Srila Prabhupada also repeatedly emphasized that the philosophy without practical devotion application remains incomplete. It will not help us. Yeah. So Vedanta knowledge should transform both our understanding and our way of life. So now we will move to each and every sutra and then we will understand. So with the scriptural foundation now firmly established, Vyasadeva begins examining each sutra individually. The first sutra asks a simple but profound question. Okay. So first sutra itself is going to be the very base Prabhuji's Mataji's. Okay. So what is that? The abode of heaven. Who is this abode of heaven? Earth and all other things. Okay. I'm just going. Okay. From this point onwards, every successive sutra which we are going to strengthen our conclusion that this is Ayatana is none other than Supreme Personality Godhead. At the same time, Prabhuji's Mataji's, it will also put some questions. Okay. So now let us jump into the first sutra. That sutra 1.3.1. That is the abode of heaven refers to Supreme Person of the Godhead. Now the next set of sutras support this particular sutra. Okay. At the end of 7 sutras, I will be putting one grid. What is each sutra is talking about? What is the true meaning of that? And how do we understand? And what is the best way of interpreting? Okay. Because 7 sutras are coming one by one. We need a single view to understand everything at one particular stage. I even drafted that and I will be presenting at end. So I am ensuring you that once you see each and every sutra, you will understand this particular adhikarana very, very clearly. Okay, Hare Krishna. So shall we move to the first sutra? Okay, so let us see what is this first sutra is talking about. So the first sutra is talking about Dubhyadhyadayata. Okay, yata dub ya dhya dhyabhyudhyayatana. Okay, adhikarana. Okay, so what does it mean? Let us see one by one. What does it mean? So now we come to the first sutra of this particular adhikarana. 1 second. I just need to move the mouse. Just give me a second. Mouse is disturbing a lot of me. Thank you. So let us see the meaning, the true meaning of these Prabhuji's Mataji's in theme 1. So what it is telling is because of the word, the description, the abode of heaven, earth and other things refers to Supreme Person of the Godhead because the words this passage specifically describes him. Okay, that is what the true meaning which we have seen in first theme. But let us discuss, okay, because this is such a base we need to understand, we need to spend little time here. Okay, so now before understanding the sutra itself, first we need to understand one important word. Okay, in this entire sea, if you see, right, there is an important word ayatana. Okay, let's understand each and every word very clearly, Prabhuji's Mataji's, and then slowly we will move on. Okay, so what is that word ayatana? This word is the heart of the entire discussion, Prabhuji's Mataji's, and this ayatana will continuously come. So okay, and let us understand this word abode as well. Okay, before jumping into 2 and 3 parts and to next slide. So when we hear the word abode, listen very carefully. This is the very base. Next to 3 minutes or 4 minutes is going to be very, very crucial, Prabhuji's Mataji's. If you miss this, no, it will be slightly confusing. Okay, so let's very carefully. When we hear the word abode, we naturally think of house or a temple or a place someone lives. If you see the true meaning of that. But actually it is not the meaning here, Prabhuji's Mataji's. The Vedanta, ayatana means the ultimate support, foundation and resting place, or that upon everything depends actually. Okay. So when Upanishad speaks that the abode of heaven, earth and other things, that is the true meaning, right? The abode of heaven, earth and other things, it is not the description of a location. It is asking much more deeper question, Prabhuji's Mataji's. You know what is the meaning of this, the abode of heaven, earth and other things? If you see very clearly, what is the ultimate foundation upon which this entire universe rests? What is the ultimate foundation upon which the entire universe is resting on? So now the other questions naturally comes. Okay, what is this heaven? What is the earth? And what is this other things which is we mentioned? Dya, Bhu, Adya. Okay, Adya, Adya, Adya. Mentioned, no? 3 words are there, no? So let's understand very carefully. In the Sanskrit, when the Upanishad mentions that heaven, that is Dya, Dya, Dvayu, Ju. And earth is mentioned as Bhu. And Adi, A-D-I, or A-D-Y, Adi, other things, is referred as the whole creation. Yeah. So this includes that heavenly planets, earth, earthly realm, and intermediate regions. Means what are those intermediate regions? Mind, prana, and living beings, and the fact of the entire universe. So the real question here, you know what it is saying? Okay, what is the ultimate support of all this existence? Vyasadeva now gives a very direct answer. The sutra says that the support of heaven, earth, and everything else is actually Supreme Personality of Godhead, because the scripture itself declares it. Okay, notice how Vyasadeva begins. He does not begin with a logic or speculation. He first asks, what does Upanishad itself says? Now slowly we are going to Upanishads. So what is that Mandaka Upanishad saying? That all we will see now. What is the Upanishad itself says? If the scriptures directly identify the Supreme Lord as the support of everything, then that settles the discussion. Therefore, the very first proof is Suti Pramana, that is the direct authority of Vedas. Yeah. So, Baladeva Vidyabhushan explains that the direct word of Mandaka Upanishad identifies the Supreme Lord as a ultimate support. Before considering the alternative interpretations, we should first accept the primary meaning intended by the scripture. Okay. So now we can question things. Why not this? Why not that? And the art will be supported by other sutras which we are coming now. Okay. This is the base sutra. The other sutras are going to support this particular sutra. Okay. Hare Krishna. I will take a simple example and then move on, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Okay. So let us think of a large tree is there. Okay. Where thousands of leaves, thousands of branches, thousands of flowers or fruits are there. But what is the support for the entire tree? That is root, right? So the leaves do not support the tree. The branches do not support the tree. Everything depending upon the root. Similarly, please listen very carefully. The heaven, earth, demigods, and all living beings, the entire universe, depending upon ultimate reality, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. And that is why he's been called as Ayatana. That is ultimate support of everything. Yeah. So now let us see what is whatever I have mentioned, right? How the scriptures are supporting, how Mandaka Upanishad is supporting. That all we will see it now. Not just in this slide, in subsequent slides also. Okay. Now let us go to the next theme, the phrase the abode of heaven in Mandaka Upanishad 2.2.5. The sutra now directs, okay, us to Azan, Mandaka Upanishad 2.2.5, which is a scriptural basis of the discussion. The verse describes the one, okay, one in the whom heaven, earth, and mind, prana, and everything else are established. Now, let's ask a simple question. Who can possibly support this entire universe? Who are the alternatives? Okay. Can conscious pradhana support everything? No. Can an individual jiva who is himself depends on the Lord support the universe? No, we don't know. Let us see. So only a Supreme Lord possesses the unlimited power or independence can support, right? Therefore, every description in this verse naturally points to actually Bhagavan. That is why Vyasadeva confidently concludes that the abode of heaven and earth refers to only Supreme Person of the Godhead. What is the meaning? The abode of heaven and earth refers to actually Supreme Person of the Godhead. Okay, so Baladeva Jiva explains that qualities described in Mundaka Upanishad 2.2.5 belongs to exclusively the Supreme Lord. No material principles or individual soul can satisfy this description. Yeah. So suppose someone says this person built and sustained this entire city. I'm just giving an example. We ultimately understand that it refers to that to an ordinary resident. It cannot refer, right? Okay, if a person built with a sustaining this entire city, he is like controlling the city. He's not an ordinary person. He's an extraordinary person. Okay, so similarly, one who sustains that entire universe cannot be on a finite being. Yes or no? So let us see, let us understand, okay, the next theme, and then we will see what other sutras are supporting this particular sutra. Okay. Now, in this particular word, there is one word which is very important. That is, it is been talking about as, okay, Amrutasya Setu. You know what is that meaning of this Amrutasya Setu? Amrutasya Setu. That is the bridge to immortality. Let's understand. What is this bridge to immortality? The same, okay, Upanishadic verse gives the more beautiful description. It calls the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord, okay, okay, the Supreme Lord Amrutasya Setu, the bridge of immortality. Why it is significant? Think about the purpose of bridge here. Okay. A bridge helps us to cross from one side to another. Yes or no? When we cannot cross by with our own strength. Yes or no? There is a river which is flowing. What we have done, we constructed a bridge because everyone cannot cross with our hands, with our shoulders. Yes or no? Similarly, every conditional soul is trying to cross this ocean of samsara, the endless cycle of birth and death. But who can help to cross this? Tell me. Certainly not a unconscious matter. Yes or no? Certainly not a conditioned soul. Jiva cannot, right? Who can help us to cross this samsara? That is Supreme Lord has the power to free us from the material bondage and lead us to eternal life. Therefore, this expression becomes another powerful proof that the abode, okay, which is there in the meaning, right? Okay, spoken of the in the Upanishads is actually Bhagavan only. It is not possible by pradhana or individual soul. Yeah. So it is started supporting, you see, Upanishad 2.2.5, he starts supporting, okay, the abode, okay, the abode of earth, heaven and earth is all mentioned, right? It is actually Bhagavan. It is started supporting. Yeah. So let us understand. So let us start understanding more sutras, how the Sutra 1.3.1 is supporting the other sutras. Yeah. So what is the key takeaway here from this particular slide? Okay. The Supreme Lord is called, okay, from this particular theme especially, the third theme, okay, Mundaka Upanishad 2.5, the Supreme Lord is called the bridge to immortality because he alone can lead us, lead the conditional soul beyond the birth and death. Yeah. So let us move to the next slide. So let's jumping on. So this particular very first sutra establishes the identity of ayatana. Ayatana through the direct words of scripture. The next question naturally follows: if the Supreme Lord is the ultimate support, if the Supreme Lord is the ultimate support, who actually attains him? So the sutra is talking about we have to attain. The Supreme Lord is the ultimate support for us. So who is attaining that Supreme Lord? That is going to talk about next sutra. Vyasadeva answers the next sutra, the liberated. Okay, the souls attain the Supreme Person of the Godhead. Okay, so who is this Ayatana? Ayatana is the Supreme Person of the Godhead. So moving to the next slide should answer us. Okay, some of our questions. What is that question? We will see. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Who is this Ayatana? The Supreme Person of the Godhead. So this particular slide, which I'm moving to the next slide, okay, should answer only one natural follows. If the Bhagavan is Ayatana, who reaches him? Okay, this sutra answers that. That should becomes the central thread of this particular slide. I think the previous version spent too much on repeating on okay, Mandaka Upanishad references instead of developing one idea. But now let us see what each sutra, how it is supporting the first sutra. Okay, and then you will see all our questions will be answered, Prabhuji, Matajis. Once you see all 7 sutras, no, you have any question on that, it will be answered. The sutra itself clarifies. Okay, if you have any questions, just hold for some little time. Little time. Okay. Half an hour to 40 minutes, half an hour. Sutras itself answers all questions. So now let us see the Sutra 1.3.2 is talking here. That is attainment of Supreme Personality. Okay, attainment of Supreme Personality by liberated souls. Attainment of Supreme Personality by liberated souls. So now let us see, okay, what is this particular sutra? He is talking about the first theme. So what is this he is talking about? Okay, Dubhya Dhyayata Dhyayatana, okay, Swashabdhat. So let us understand what is the meaning of this. Okay, because it is said that the liberated souls attain. Okay, the liberated souls attain. So the scripture, one second. Yeah. So because the scriptures, one second. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, because it is said that the liberated souls attain. In bracket. This is spiritual abode of heaven, earth, and other things. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Because it is said that the liberated souls attain. Because it is said that the liberated souls attain. So now let us understand the meaning of this. Now the Vyasadeva has established, okay, who is Ayatana? Who is Ayatana? He is naturally asked the next question. Who attains the Supreme Lord? Okay, so the second question is answering, okay, is answering. What it is answering? It means that the abode must be the Supreme Lord because the scriptures declare that the liberated souls are attaining him. Notice how beautifully the argument progresses. Let's understand very carefully. If Upanishad says that the liberated souls attain the reality, then the reality must be conscious, personal being. Yes or no? Why a soul attains something which is impersonal, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, which is unconscious? It doesn't make any sense, right? Yes or no? Are you understanding? After all, a liberation is not simply reaches a place. Liberation means reaching Supreme Person. Okay. So, Baladeva Vidyabhushanji explains that the word attaining, okay, is very significant here. Okay. One can meaningfully attain a conscious Supreme Person, but it is not meaningful to speak. It is not meaningful to speak of attaining unconscious matter. Okay. So, we need to understand that the goal of revelation is not a wideness or a impersonal existence, but to revive our eternal relationship with the Supreme Person of the Godhead. Who is that Supreme Person of Godhead? That is Krishna. So, liberation is to attainment of Supreme Person, not merely freedom from the material existence. That is what we need to understand this first theme. Now, let us understand little more. Okay, how whatever I have mentioned, how the Upanishads are supporting, that we will see it in second theme and third theme. Okay, we see it in the slides. R. Govinda Bhashya explains the summary and it will support with Upanishads, with the Shastras. Okay, yeah. So now let us see how Mandaka Upanishad 3.1.3, how it is supporting. Let us see that. The sutra is based upon the Mandaka Upanishad 3.1.3. The Upanishad describes the liberated soul as realizing the effulgent Supreme Person and becoming free from the reactions of karma. This is very important point. That is what Mandaka Upanishad 3.1.3 is talking about. So now let us understand a little more clearly. The liberated soul does not become Supreme Lord. Okay, that is what this sloka is talking here. 3.1.3 is talking about. Rather, the liberated soul realizes and approaches Supreme Person of the Godhead. This is a great difference between the two ideas. If I enter a temple and stand before Sri Krishna, okay, and Srimati Radharani, I have reached deities. I have reached a temple, but I have not become deities, right? Yes or no? Similarly, liberation means attaining the Lord's association, not losing our individuality. Yeah. So Baladeva Jiva explains that Upanishad speaks of approaching the realizing the Supreme Person. These expressions perceive the eternal distinctions between devotee and Bhagavan. Yeah. So in this Gaudiya Sampradaya, we need to understand the liberation. The highest perfection is not meaning of merging into the Brahman, but engaging loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So let's take example, Prabhuji's Mataji's. When a student finally meets a great teacher after years of study, okay, the student has attained the teacher's association, yes or no, but does not become a teacher, right? Yes or no? Similarly, liberation culminates the attaining the Lord presence while retaining one's eternal identity. We are, even Bhagavad Gita is saying that we are not going to lose our eternity. our identity, Prabhuji's Mataji's. So liberation means attaining Lord's association, not becoming Lord. Okay, that is what this is second theme is talking about. Yeah. Now theme 3, the nature of liberation. What is this nature of liberation? That is been talking about this particular theme 3 that is being supported by 3.1.3 from Mandaka Upanishad and 3.2.1. Okay, so now let us understand a little more clearly. The same teaching is reinforced in the following verses, okay, of this Mandaka Upanishad. The liberated soul becomes free from ignorance and karma and material desires becomes, okay, become desires because of realizing of Supreme Lord. Notice the emphasis. Notice the emphasis. The focus is always on the greatness of one who is attained, not on the independent greatness of the liberated soul. Please listen carefully. The Lord remains the object of realization. The Lord remains the object of realization. That is what okay, Mundaka Upanishad, these slokas are talking about. The devotee remains the reception of his mercy. The relation continues eternally. Yeah, the Lord remains the object of realization. The devotee remains reception of his mercy, and this relationship continues eternally. This is why the sutra becomes another powerful proof that ayatana cannot be pradhana or individual jiva. Okay, that is being confirmed here, but it will be further confirmed in next sutras as well. Yeah, so it must be the supreme person of the Godhead. Okay, so let's move to the next sutra, what it is talking about. Yeah, so now Prabhuji's Mataji's, this particular, okay, before jumping on this particular sutra, so far Vyasadeva has established two important rules. Let's summarize, okay, what is being discussed. The first one, ayatana. Okay, he started establishing the ayatana is ayatana. Ayatana, which is mentioned in the first sutra, is exactly Supreme Person of the Godhead. But now so many questions came for us. Can it be pradhana? Can it be individual soul? Now the sutras which is started now is going to conclude or telling us in direct way it is not pradhana. Especially in 1.3 says that it is not pradhana, and it gives the reason why it is not pradhana. Okay, now, and also in next subsequently talks about, okay, it is not even soul. Okay, yeah, then we will see how it is going to say. Now let us see. The first one, the ayatana, is mentioned as Supreme Person of the Godhead. Second one, sloka, it said that souls who will attain the Supreme Person of the Godhead, liberated souls attain Supreme Person of the Godhead. That is mentioned in second sutra. And now we are seeing a philosophical objection raised, which we have seen. What is that Vishaya and objection and all that we have seen. Okay. Now, philosophical objection is raised. Some thinkers argue that what is that sutra is mentioned? First sutra, you have to remember this carefully. Abode of heaven and earth. Abode of heaven and earth. Okay. I explained you in slide 5 the meaning of abode of heaven and earth very clearly. Okay, is actually sometimes the impersonal, or some philosophers feel that it could be actually pradhana. Okay, the material cause of universe. Okay, but the next sutra examined and it refutes our interpretation. This sutra is completely rejecting. Okay, whatever you are talking that abode of heaven and earth is pradhana is wrong, Baba. It is actually Supreme Person of the Godhead. But if you think it is pradhana, why it is not correct? This sutra is telling us. Okay, now let us understand. Before jumping in, okay, from slide 5, we started understanding the sutras. Let's summarize every time. Slide 5 is talking about who is Ayatana, and that is said Bhagavan. And who reaches him in slide 6? Liberated souls reaches him. That is what we have seen slide 6. Now you know what is the slide 7 is talking about. Could Ayatana, okay, could the ayatana instead of pradhana? It says that no, it is not pradhana. Okay, now how it is rejecting pradhana, we are going to see. Prabhuji's Matajis, are you able to see the connector? So I am going slow initially so that you will understand, and this base slokas will become very strong. Yeah. So feel free to add Char Prabhuji, Sharad Prabhuji at any time. No problem at all. Okay. So this slide 1.3.3 is talking about Pradhana is not the ultimate abode. Okay. That Pradhana is not the abode. Now, how it is talking, let us see. Now, let us understand what is this sloka itself is talking for us. Okay. What it is telling us, Muktopastrupya Pya Vyapa Deshat. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? What's the meaning? Let's understand the meaning. Abode of heaven and earth. The abode of heaven and earth here is not pradhana. It is clearly mentioned because there is no word appropriate in this passage. So now let us understand little more carefully. So Vyasadeva identify the Ayatana as the Supreme Lord and then show it that the liberated souls attain him. That is what we have seen in first two. Now, however, he addresses the important philosophical objection. Some schools, some philosophical schools, especially Sankhya philosophers, argue that the ultimate support of the universe could be pradhana, the unmanifest material energy from which the material world evolves. So the question becomes, could abode of heaven and earth actually refers to pradhana? Now here Vyasadeva is telling with a sutra, Vyasadeva is answering no, with a true meaning. Okay. So Vyasadeva answers clearly no. The sutra says that actually the meaning of sutra, the ayatana cannot be pradhana. That is the meaning it is saying. Ayatana cannot be pradhana because the words of the scripture do not support that interpretation. So this is an important principle in this sutra. The Vedanta, we do not begin with a philosophical theory and force it with the scriptures. No. We begin with that what scripture says that. Okay. And then what Upanishad is talking about. Since the Upanishad never describes pradhana using these words, we should not impose the meaning onto the text. Yeah. So Baladev Vidyabhushan ji explains that Sankhya conclusion is based upon Anumana, whereas Vedanta gives the priority to Shabda Pramana. That is a direct testimony of Vedas. Yeah. So what is it takeaway for us from the first meaning itself? Vedanta rejects the interpretations that are based upon on the speculation and not the direct words of scriptures. Now let us understand theme 2 and theme 3 and then we'll get a better clarity for us. Why pradhana cannot be ayatana? That is theme 2 is talking about. So now let us examine. Okay, why pradhana cannot be ayatana? So in the previous sutra, we learned that liberated souls attain the reality. What is that liberated souls are attaining? What liberated souls are attaining? Liberated souls are attaining supreme. Liberated souls are attaining this reality. Okay, can anyone imagine Prabhuji's Mataji attaining, somebody is attaining unconscious matter? Of course not, right? Liberation means only if it is a destination is a conscious or personal reality. Yes or no? But actually, what is pradhana? Tell me. Pradhana is unconscious. It cannot know us. It cannot guide us. It cannot accept a devotion. It cannot grant a liberation. Yes or no? Therefore, it cannot be ultimate goal described in Upanishads. So the only Supreme Person of the Godhead satisfies all these descriptions. Now we are understanding little, yeah. So this particular sutra is completely rejecting. No, that abode is not pradhana. So Baladeva ji points out that every characteristic method in the Upanishads begins attaining who attained by liberated souls, serving the ultimate support. Okay, that is leading immortality beyond only to the Supreme Lord and not a inner matter. Nobody will reach matter, right? Yeah, matter, right? Nobody look for matter. Yes, sir. So see, just I will give an example here. Imagine someone says that after years of effort, okay, I identify my master, my master, my guru. This statement makes sense because a master is a person. Yes or no? But if someone says that after years of effort, I attend a rock, does it make any sense, Prabhuji's Mataji? I'm trying to give you an example here. Similarly, Upanishad speaks of attaining the highest reality because that reality is a conscious supreme person only. It cannot be unconscious thing or matter. So the goal of liberation must be a conscious and personal. Therefore, it cannot be a pradhana. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji's Mataji, is everybody with me? Haribol. So
Absolutely.
let's move to the next theme. That is, what is the scriptural conclusion here? The sutra therefore establish an important principles for interpreting Vedanta. Whenever a multiple interpretations are possible, we should choose one is the best fits in all the scriptural descriptions, not just isolated phrase, Prabhuji. Yeah. So here every description points the same direction. The Ayatana supports the universe. The liberated souls attain him. He is the bridge of immortality. All these characters belongs to naturally the Supreme Person of the Godhead. None of them fits Pradhana. Therefore, conclusion is unavoidable. The Ayatana is, the Upanishad is saying, is Bhagavan alone. Okay. So, Baladev Vidyabhushana harmonizes and all scriptural statements rather than interpreting one verse in isolation. So, the holistic method of one defining future of Vedantic interpretation. Okay, interpretation. So, so Hare Krishna. So, the complete scriptural picture consistently identifies the Ayatana as a supreme person of the Godhead and not Pradhana. That is what this particular sutra and also this particular slide is concluding. Yeah. So now let us see the next slide. What is the next sutra is going to talk about? Okay. Krishna. Yeah, Pradhana. Okay, after Pradhana, there was a break. You want to take any break or any questions, Prabhuji, or shall we move on? Now
No,
this
we
sloka
can
is
we can
this sutra is
move
talking
on.
about Jiva. Move on, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, I just want one confirmation. Prabhuji's Mataji's now I think we spend around half an hour or little bit of 40 minutes or so. Is everybody with me? Now we are at slide 9. I think we are going
Yes,
good.
Prabhu.
We should-
Yeah, with you.
Yeah. So now the sutra, okay, is talking about the Jivatma cannot be the abode, Prabhuji's Mataji's. So how the Jivatma cannot be abode? Okay, we will see multiple themes here. Okay. Now first, let us understand the meaning of this particular um, first theme. Okay, theme 1. So let us understand the meaning. So what it is saying? Okay, prana bracha. So how understand? Having rejected Pradhana, Vyasadeva now exam is the final alternative. What is that final argument it came? If the Ayatana is a conscious, perhaps the individual soul, the Jivatma, was the question came, right? Okay, in Samshaya for us, it been raised, right? Now the sutra is concluding, no, it is not. How? That we will see it here. Okay, this is a reasonable question because Jiva is a conscious. Actually, Pradhana is unconscious, but Jiva is a conscious one. Yes or no? It's a soul, no? But how it is concluding, no, that we will see. So the Vyasadeva now asks a question. Can the individual soul be the ultimate support of heaven, earth and everything else? See, can the individual souls be the ultimate support of heaven, earth, and in everything else? No, actually. The answers, okay, is prana brasha. For the same reason, the bearer of life, the jiva, is actually not ayatana. Why? Why does the sutra says for the same reason? Because some principles applies. The Upanishad describes one who supports the entire universe, one who is attained by liberated souls. The jiva is never describes the support of everything, actually speaking. Rather, the jiva itself is supported by Supreme Lord, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Yes or no? Therefore, the jiva cannot be ayatana. That is how this particular thing is being concluding Prabhuji's Mataji's. Okay. So Baladev ji explains that although Jiva is a conscious, it is always dependent. The one who is dependent on another cannot be simultaneously be ultimate support or not. Yes or no? Ultimate support of all existence, right? Yeah. So now there is very important word which is there, Atman. There is a difference between Atma and Atman, and it is being talked about in this particular theme too very clearly. Let's understand the 2 and 3, and then we'll move to next okay, sutra. Let's spend some time here on theme 2. What is the meaning of Atman? At this point, another question naturally rises. The Upanishads often often uses the word Atman. Atman. Okay. But does Atman usually means for individual soul? We have to clear. Many of the Upanishads says that Atman. Actually, this Atman is an individual soul. Now the answer is sometimes yes, but not always. Like many Sanskrit words, the meaning depending upon the context. We need to take the context, Prabhujis, Matajis. That is, context is very, very important. Here the Upanishads is describing one who is supporting the heaven, earth, mind, prana, and the entire universe. That description is far greater than individual soul. So therefore, the Atman here exactly refers to supreme self and not the individual self. And that is the reason context is very important. So this is the important rule of Vedanta. We do not decide the meaning of the word in isolation. See, we should not be taking the word in isolation into the meaning of it. It doesn't work out. We have to see the context, bigger context. So we do not decide the meaning of the word in isolation. So we always understand in the light of surrounding context. So Baladev ji gives the priority of the primary meaning that best fits in the context. Since the passage consistently describes the supreme reality, Atman must be referring to Bhagavan. Okay, Hare Krishna. So the okay. So what is a key takeaway from this particular theme is the context, not the dictionary alone, determines the meaning of the whole word Atman. Now let us take the scriptural context from this particular theme. Okay, let's understand, and then overall let us see what is this particular slide is talking about. Now the scriptural further confirms this particular conclusion. Okay, if you see Svetashwar Upanishad describes the jiva as an atomic, externally small, conscious, but even though it is small, it is conscious and dependent. The Mandaka Upanishad teaches that the soul resides within the body and experiences life through it. These descriptions reveal that the true position of jiva, the soul is eternal, the soul is conscious, the soul is spiritual, but the soul never presented as a supportive of the universe. Never mentioned that the soul presented the supportive of the universe. No, only the Supreme Lord possesses that position. So the scripture constantly preserve both the truths. The jiva is spiritually glorious. The Bhagavan is alone is infinitely great. So Baladev ji harmonizes these scriptural statements to show that the soul's greatness lies in its spiritual nature. It's a spirit, no? It's a spirit. It's a spiritual nature. While the large greatness lies in is abode independent of the universal of this universe. Yeah. Okay. So let us take a simple example. A spark of blazing fire are both fiery. Yes or no? A spark and blazing fire, both are fiery. The spark has a same nature of a fire, but one mistake the spark as an entire fire. Okay, it could happen. But similarly, the jiva shares the Lord's spiritual nature without becoming equal to him. Yeah. So now what is this particular chapter or slide is talking about? At this stage, two major alternatives have now been eliminated. What is this particular? Okay, this ayatana is not pradhana. That is eliminated by in this particular previous slide. Now the ayatana is not jiva. That sutra is talking about. Further explanation is also talking about is not jiva, because jiva is a finite and dependent. So the next sutra now goes further steps. Okay, to support what is that abode is Supreme Person of the Godhead. To support that. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So I'm moving to the next slide, slide 10. So now we reached 1.3.5. Here, further clarity came. It is not Jivatma, it is not soul. And here also it is differentiated between Jivatma and Supreme Person of the Godhead. Okay, the sutra itself clearly differentiates. Okay, what is the distinction between Jivatma and Supreme Person of the Godhead? That we will see in this particular sutra 1.3.5. The distinction between Jivatma and Supreme Person of the Godhead. Now, in first theme one, two themes Prabhuji has drafted. In first theme, let us see the meaning of it. Okay, 1.3.5. Okay, what is mentioned? Beda Vyapava Devatsya. Okay, let us see the meaning of that. For the same reason, Jivatma, for the same reason, the Jivatman is not the uh, abode of heaven and earth. So let us understand this. What does it mean? After establishing the Ayatana cannot be individual soul, okay, Vyasadeva now strengthens his conclusion with a direct spiritual evidence. Until now, the argument has been largely negative. It is not Pradhana, it is not Jiva. Now the question begins. Does the scripture positively distinguish the Jivatma and Supreme Lord? Is the scripture itself is talking about what is the difference between Jivatma and soul? We understand from the previous sutra, as you rightly mentioned, it is not Jiva. Now, what is the difference between Jiva and Supreme? So that I will get a better clarity that it is not Jiva, that abode is. So answer is yes. This sutra is talking about the meaning here because the scriptures explicitly teach the distinction between them. Okay, that is very significant. Vedanta does not merely reject the incorrect interpretations. It also establishes the correct understanding through the positive scriptural statements. Yeah. So the Upanishads repeatedly describes two distinct conscious beings, the individual soul and the supreme soul. Yeah. Therefore, the Ayatana cannot be Jiva. So Baladev Vidyabhushanji explains that when a Upanishad speaks two distinct conscious entities, the distinctions must be accepted in its natural sense. The Supreme Lord and the individual soul are eternally related, but they never identical. Yeah, the scripture itself distinguishes Jiva from Bhagavan. Therefore, they cannot be understood as the same reality. Now let us see what is that Mundaka Upanishad is talking about from 2.2.5. Okay, so with 2.2.5, what it is talking, let us see. The allegory of the two birds. Now, the strongest evidence from the famous allegory of two birds, which is mentioned in Mundaka Upanishad 2.2.5. Let's understand that, Papuchis Matajis. The Upanishad describes two birds sitting on the same tree. You have seen multiple times this example. One bird eating its own fruits of the tree, the other bird simply witnessing. This beautiful imaginary teaches the relationship between Jiva and Supreme Personality Godhead. The bird eating the fruits represents the individual soul, okay, and experience the results of karma. The witnessing board represents the Supreme Lord, which accompanies every soul as the Paramatma, but remains untouched by material reactions. So notice that Upanishads never presents them as one bird. Okay, them as one bird. It is two birds, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Okay, it presents them two distinct persons sharing one relationship. That distinction is precisely with this sutra emphasized. Now, Baladev ji explains that the true birds are not symbolic different states of one consciousness. They represent two eternally distinct, okay, eternally distinct conscious beings, and the dependent jiva and independent supreme lord. Yeah. So let me take an example here so that we can understand. So imagine two friends traveling together. One friend is driving the vehicle and dealing with the traffic and any mistakes which other person is doing. Okay. The other actually experiencing instructor, calmly observing and giving guidance. Okay. Yes or no? They travel together. Okay. But they remain two different individuals. Yes or no? Yeah, just give an example. So that actually the board example is good enough for us. Yeah. So, this particular sutra is actually differentiated or distinct. What is the distinction between Jivatma and Paramatma? That is Supreme Personality Godhead. Now let's move to the next slide. What is that next slide? 1.3.6. See, now that Upanishads have clearly distinguished the two words. One final question may come. How do we know that the interpretation is the intended meaning of the passage? So Vyasadeva answers the next sutra by appealing the context of the entire Mandaka Upanishad. Now let us understand what it's saying. See here, in that contextual clarity of abode. See, from starting also I mentioned not just true meaning, we need to understand the contextual clarity of this particular abode. From that angle also we will see. And then we will conclude that abode is no other than it is Supreme Person of the Godhead. Okay. Sometimes we understand like why we have to give this much explanation. Prabhuji's Mataji's Vyasadeva has given this much explanation. Baladevaji has given this much explanation to all the souls to attract this particular philosophy. Even though he has given this much, many are not following Prabhuji's Mataji's. Yeah. So let us see what is this 1.3.6 in the slide 11 is talking about. Okay, contextual clarity of abode. So first theme, which is the meaning. Okay, because of the context, that is the meaning, and also because of the context. So what is this it is talking? So far is talking. So far, Vyasadeva has demonstrated that the abode of heaven and earth cannot be referred to Pradhana, cannot be referred to individual soul. Now he introduced another important principle of Vedanta interpretation. The sutra simply says that, okay, that is saying what? Prakaranat, because of the context. This may appear a very short sutra, but it conveys very, very profound principle, Prabhuji's Mataji's. So what it is telling, let us understand. In Vedanta, we never interpret a single sentence or independently. Instead, we ask, what is the overall subject of this entire passage? What is the context? So, if the surrounding discussion consistently speaks about the Supreme Lord, the every related statement should be naturally be understood in that context. So this prevents us from taking one isolated word and assigning the different meaning. So Baladev Vidyabhushan ji explains that the prakarana, prakaranat or prakarana.
Prakarana means chapter, So it's like a
Chapter.
text.
The overall context. Yes, Prabhu. The one of the strongest meaning of the determining the instead of meaning of the spiritual passage. Since the Mundaka Upanishad is consistently discussing the supreme reality, the phrase the abode of heaven and earth must be refers to the supreme person of the Godhead. So in this particular context, trying to bring the context as well. So if one paragraph mentions, let's take a simple example. Imagine, we open a chapter, the life of Sri Krishna is mentioned in the chapter. In one paragraph is mentioned, he entered the city. We naturally understand he refers to the Krishna, right? Because that is the subject of the chapter. So we would not suddenly assuming that it refers to Atman, Arjuna, or someone else. Yes or no? Similarly, the context is determines the meaning here. So Vedanta interprets individual statements in a light of entire context, not the isolation. Now, how it is supporting, overall theme of this Mundaka Upanishad 1.1.3, that also we will see. Yeah. So Vyasadeva now applies this principle to Mundaka Upanishad. The surrounding chapters repeatedly glorify the knowledge of Supreme Lord and the highest knowledge. The Upanishad distinguishes between the lower knowledge, which deals with the temporary world, and higher knowledge, which leads with the realization of imperishable Supreme. Therefore, when the same section later speaks about the abode of heaven and earth, the context has already prepared us to understand that it is referring the same supreme reality. So there is no sudden shift from Bhagavan to Pradhana or individual soul. Shift from Bhagavan to Pradhana or individual soul. The subject remains consistent throughout. So Baladeva ji emphasized that the continuity of Mandaka Upanishad, that is, leaves no room for the changing subject midway. It is Bhagavan. Every description naturally converges the Supreme Person of the Godhead. Yeah. So let us take an example. Okay. Srila Prabhupada also mentioned so many times. So think of reading of a biography. You're reading a biography. If the entire chapter is talking about Srila Prabhupada, for example, you're reading Srila Prabhupada. Now every pronunciation such as he is being understood to refer to Srila Prabhupada, right? Unless other clarifies introduce some other person. Likewise, the Mandaka Upanishad never changes its subjects without indication. See here, in the overall each of the sutras, it doesn't give any space for us to think of something else. It gives 100% clarity. What is that embodies? Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Yeah. Okay, so now let us understand what is the last sutra we are talking here, Prabhuji's, Mataji's. And then after the sutra, we have two more slides, which is summarizes and the relation between each sutras. Okay, and then we will see. Okay, what again I will summarize in one particular slide what all sutras is talking. Now let us move to the next slide. So at this point, the philosophical conclusion is almost complete. Logic has shown that ayatana is neither, it's not pradhana or jiva. Scriptures has distinguished the Supreme Lord from the individual soul. The context has confirmed that the passage is consistently speaks about Bhagavan. So the final sutra, okay, now returns the beautiful allogy of two words. The sutra itself is saying this, okay, showing how that imaginary perfectly illustrates that eternal relationship between Jiva and Supreme Lord. So I think, okay, so that this particular slide 12 is actually most important sutra, that entire Adhikarana after Sutra 1.3.1. Okay, because here it will establish the relation also. So after reviving this independently, okay, the previous narrative can still improve significantly. Okay, the reason is Sutra 1.3.7 is not introducing a new topic. Rather, it is a final confirmation that everything, final confirmation of Vyasadeva has been building towards. Let us understand, okay, what is this is talking about. I will just do a quick recap. 1.3.1 is mentioned Ayatana is Bhagavan. And then 1.3.2, the liberated souls attain him. 3.3 Sutra is not Pradhana. 3.4 said it is not Jiva. 3.5 said scriptures distinguishes Jiva and Bhagavan. Clear difference came. In 3.6, the context is actually referring Bhagavan only, Baba. It's not something else. Is mentioned in the previous sutra. Now in this sutra 1.3.7, okay, allegory of two birds beautifully summarize the entire conclusion. Okay. Now let's jump on to the sutra and then we will conclude. The theme one. Okay, the theme one, we never ever a final sutra of this Adhikarana. Vyasadeva returns to one of the most beautiful illusion of this Upanishads, the allegory of two birds. We know that. Because one remains simply witnessing while the other eats the fruits. That is what is this sutra is talking about. Yeah. So, what is that? Stitya adhyanayam cha. The meaning is because one remains simply witnessing while the other eats the fruits. The shortened statement captures that entire philosophy of the previous sutras. The two birds present, okay, two eternal conscious beings. The bird, one bird is being eating the fruits of the tree. The bird eating the fruits represents Jivatmas, who experiences the results of karma. The witnessing bird represents the Supreme Lord, who accomplishes everything, every living being has a Paramatma. It remains untouched by these material reactions. Yes, sir. So the reactions are different because their identities are different. The Jiva is experience, the Lord is witness. Okay, that is what the sutra is talking about very clearly. The Lord witness guides because he is the eternal companion of the soul. Okay. Now, what is this Mandaka Upanishad 3.1.1 supporting? We will see. Okay. Now, Mandaka Upanishad provides a scriptural foundation for this allegory. The two birds sit on the same tree, showing the Supreme Lord is never far from individual soul. Even while the Jiva undergoes happiness and distress due to karma, the Lord remains present. Okay. As the compassionate witness. The completeness, the teaching of the entire Adhikarana. This completes the teaching of the entire Adhikarana. The Ayatana cannot be Pradhan because Pradhan is unconscious. It cannot be Jiva because Upanishad distinguishes Jiva and Supreme Lord. Okay. The witness of bird cannot be possesses. The quality is described throughout the section. So he is the support of heaven and earth. Who is that he? Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is attained liberated soul. Who is he? Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the bridge of immortality. He is the ultimate object spiritual realization. Therefore, the witnessing of Bud is none other than Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. No, let's move to the next slide. Now we just have 2 more slides, Prabhuji's Matajis. Yeah. Now in this particular slide 13, Prabhuji has beautifully collected the analysis of the sutras, that 1.3.1 to 1.3.7, and the common denominators Prabhuji has drafted. Let's understand this. Having compelled, okay, so let us understand each theme very, very quickly. 8:31. I will take 10 minutes to, maybe 5 to 10 minutes to complete this. Yeah, maximum. So having compelled all 7 sutras, let us step back and look at them overall picture. Okay, the first thing we notice remarkably consistency. Every sutra, although addressing different question, okay, arrives the same conclusion. One established the ayatam is Bhagwan. Okay, another shows the liberated soul attain him. Other eliminates pradhana and jiva is not possible interpretations. The final sutra confirms that conclusion is through context of legendary of 2 births. Okay, different arguments but one conclusion. Yes, sir. Okay, this teaches the Vedanta is not presenting isolated ideas. It is building of one unified vision, the Supreme Person of the Godhead, as the ultimate foundation of all existence. Okay, so, and also the sutra is talking about the role of devotion. Role of devotion towards the Supreme Person of the Godhead. And also it has given the spiritual authority. Okay, we have seen all that spiritual authority. Here Prabhuji has given overall summarized at one place. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Let's move to the last slide. And each sutra is interconnected, Prabhuji's Matajis. Each sutra is interconnected. In fact, during the disconnection, I have explained, okay, what is that interconnectedness? Yeah. What is the interconnectedness? So, yeah. So collective of analysis of sutras 1.2.1 is interconnected. The sutras build one logical argument. You know, what is that? As we conclude the Adhikarana, one features becomes especially striking. These 7 sutras are not independent discussions, Prabhuji's Matajis. You are seeing the first sutra is being supported by all sutras and giving a clarity. Each one preparedness of foundation for next, creating one continuous logical argument. Vyasadeva does not simply state a conclusion. He patiently leads us, removing every possible misunderstanding through a sutra, and he will explain conclusion. Yeah, this systematic approach is one of the unique strength of Brahma Sutras. Each sutra has a purpose. Every sutra depending upon another previous sutra. That is what Prabhuji also drafted. What is the interconnectedness here? Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me share one small thing here. Hare Krishna. Okay, where I have put all 7 sutras at one place. You may like that. Okay, I'll just share it and then I'll conclude it. Okay, Hare Krishna. Just give me a second. Hare Krishna. Are you able to see a small grid here?
Yeah, it is coming, Prabhu. Coming up. Yes.
Perfect. So here Adhikarana is talking about what is the literal meaning, what is Vedantic conclusion, why the sutra is made, and what is the memory keyword for this. All 7 sutras I have mentioned, Prabhuji's Mataji here. I'll just minimize a little bit so that you will be able to see 7 together. Yeah. Yeah. 7, you must be able to see it now, all 7. So Adhikarana, the Adhikarana is what it is saying, establishes the abode of heaven and earth. Okay, that is Supreme Person of the Godhead. That is where it is started. The abode of heaven and earth. Okay, that is Supreme Person of the Godhead. That is being supported all the sutras 1.7 actually. See, in 1, what it is said, okay, identify Ayatana as the Supreme Person of the Godhead. That is first sutra. I mentioned, very important. And then second sutra, there is a doubt. Okay, the Ayatana conscious spiritual. Okay, that is what is 2 mentioned. The shows the Ayatana is the conscious spiritual reality attained by liberated souls. Who attains the Ayatana? Okay, liberated souls attain that Ayatana. That is mentioned too in second sloka. And third sloka is completely rejecting because Sankhya people came up saying that could it be Pradhana? No, Ayatana cannot be Pradhana. And then 4th one, which you have seen Vedantic conclusion, I am different. It reject Jiva as Ayatana. And then 5th sutra, it is mentioned as establish the eternal distinction between Jiva and Bhagavan. Yeah. And then sixth one, it is mentioned that confirms the entire Upanishad is contact refers to Bhagavan only. Don't move away from context. And then last and seventh one confirms the conclusion through allegory of two words, which we already know. Okay. So I just try to bring it with in a single grid. Yeah. So, and also I give a memory word. The first adhikarana is ultimate shelter for us. One, identification. And then second one is liberation. Yeah, liberated to a soul, right? And then third one is reject pradhana. And fourth one, reject jiva. And then fifth one is eternal distinction between, and with sutra only, we are not going anywhere else. With sutra only, we differentiated the distinction. And then sixth, okay, context is very important. Don't move away context. And then last one is example of two parts. Yeah. So with this, you understand everything, the Adhikarana and all sutras at one place. Okay, even if you forget, okay, if you see this particular git, we will get the entire summary. It's like in a computer language, we have something like a pointers. Okay, the entire information will come when you refer the pointer. Like this is like a pointer for the entire slides. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Sorry, I took 7 minutes more. Okay, I'll stop here. I will request Sharat Prabhu and Charu Prabhu to open comments. Okay, add more information. I'll stop share. Hare Krishna. Sorry if I move fast or anything like that. I really don't know. Hare
Jay, you've
Krishna.
done, as always, you have been doing an excellent job.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes.
I
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
like your style of explaining,
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
and with so many examples.
Yeah. And also
Practical
maintaining the
examples.
chain. Yeah, maintaining chain is also very important. Otherwise, we miss the chain.
Thank you, Prabhu. We are very grateful to you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, it's
Hare
open for
Krishna, Prabhu.
discussion.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very wonderful, as Prabhu said, Charu Prabhu said. That connection I really like, the one sutra to another sutra. It connects in the last slide what you've shown with that Excel sheet with the Telugu version also. We are able to see the link, so from one to another one. There is a one question. Ayatana is a pradhana. Are you referring? I want to double check this one. Hope it is the same. Ayatana is an unmanifested state of the universe. Is that you are referring, Prabhu?
No. Ayatana is referring Supreme Person of the Godhead.
No. Ayatana Supreme Pradhana. Pradhana is referring to the unmanifested state of the universe.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, just okay.
Pradhana is that.
So yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for wonderful explanation.
We have very few keywords, Prabhu, in this entire session. Okay.
Yes.
If you understand those keywords, that is good enough. You will understand. So
Correct.
I'm a science graduate, Prabhu. So I try to understand logically.
Yeah. No. I mean, basically that Mundaka Upanishad example also, nicely. It reminded second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So very nicely, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Wonderful class, Prabhuji. Wonderfully explained each and every sutra. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Sutra only explained, Mataji. Actually, we just connected the dots. Okay.
Yes.
We should not be losing anyway. We just need to connect all sutras. That's it.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nicely explained.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Any other comments?
That example is really so wonderful. From beginning, we are hearing this when we started our journey. Since from there we are listening these two birds analogy. So really, बारंबार सुनने से और हमारे दृढ़ता अच्छी बढ़ती है माइंड में. It gives more clarification, more clarification.
Yeah, these examples were part of sutras. Vyasadeva only gave those sutras.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I go anywhere else. Yeah.
Yes. Matlab, that example we are learning from since we are starting our journey. मगर तब हमारा इतना clarification धीरे धीरे और मजबूत होता जा रहा है यही एग्जाम्पल के द्वारा मैं वो कह रही हूँ.
Yes,
Prabhuji.
See, before coming to Krishna conscious, because I was into Advaita philosophy, I used to always scare of I will lose my identity. How can I lose my identity was my question. That is where my search continued. And somewhere in 5 years back, I got connected to Krishna conscious. Yeah.
Amazing class, Prabhu.
2020. 2020. Yeah.
Prabhuji,
I connected.
firstly, I like the definition of abode that you gave. Normally, we
Yeah.
used to think that abode is a dwelling place.
Yes.
So how you,
Yes.
elaborated that was so beautiful. So abode gives support. It gives protection. And
Exactly.
then gradually, who is giving protection and support to that abode? Then
Yes.
to that who is giving. So it is hierarchy, like Guru,
Yes.
Sadhu, Shastra, and then finally all these three supports lead to Bhagwan.
Yes.
So that abode is to be understood in that light. It's so very beautiful explanation,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Yeah. Samta Mataji, shall I say one thing for you? Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the pointer of the entire presentation, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Dhanvat Pranam. All thanks to
Yeah,
you.
you got
Your
the point.
efforts are amazing.
Yeah. You got the pointer of the entire presentation. That was the key. It comes in slide 5 actually. Yeah. Yeah. Because even though slide 5 is very short, I spent good amount of time in slide 5. Because getting that meaning is very important. Getting the context of that abode is very important. Yeah.
See, now
It's all the mercy of
all of you,
Char
It is,
Prabhuji and Sharat Prabhuji. Yeah. The slides.
now
Yeah.
now we have reached, a significant portion in the this Govinda Bhashya. Now you understand the same Vedanta Sutra interpreted by the impersonalist philosophers who do not differentiate between Jivatman and Paramatman. And here that distinction is very, very important. So you can see how twisted explanation given by the impersonalist who do not recognize the difference between the ordinary Jivatman and the Paramatman.
Even the Vyasadeva is clearly giving.
Yeah.
they can,
So this,
Prabhu, they cannot understand the context of the
but
each and every word.
look at their audacity. They want to twist even the original author, Vyasadeva's explanation. Vyasadeva himself mentions that distinction, but they ignore that.
Yes.
So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to Banaras and had an audience with these impersonalist philosophers, Mayavadi philosophers, and they invited him. Okay? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very humble. He did not say first anything. In fact, he did not even enter in the room itself. He was sitting outside the room. So they invited him to come inside and then said all these things, So very humbly he said that your interpretation of Vedanta Sutra is really not consistent with the original author himself. And they downgrade philosophers, impersonal philosophers, downgrade the very existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
It is strengthening our philosophy.
Sharat Prabhuji, you want to give in your 2 words, 2 cent words?
Okay, Prabhuji. Like we are talking about Jivatma and Paramatma. We know they are different, but qualitatively they are the same. Just remember this example what I am going to give. Like the water in the Ganges. Now the Ganges, it is flowing. The dogs, they are also drinking the water. Other animals are drinking. So many sinful people, they are also taking bath. But still then that water is pure. But you take just one pot of water. If it is touched by a dog, then it is impure. It is the same Ganga water. It is like that. Then today's class, Prasad Prabhuji, he explained very nicely, but I will connect the Pada 2 and 3. We heard the first 7 sutras, the next 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, those I will be taking. I'll just connect between this two. Now in Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Krishna says, Vedaischa sarver amay vedya. That means by all the Vedas I am to be known. And in the second line he says, Vedanta krid Veda Videva Chaham. That means indeed I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. Now here Krishna reveals that he is the ultimate goal of all Vedic knowledge. And Vyasadeva, the compiler, as we know, he himself is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. And the personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of all Vedas, and he himself came as Vyasadeva to explain this goal. Now, during his talks with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stated that the Vedic statements of these Upanishads are like sunlight, and everything is clear and very distinct when anything is seen in the sunlight. And the statements of the Vedas are similarly clear and distinct in all respects. But as Charu Prabhuji was saying, Mayavadi philosophers, they simply cover the sunlight with the clouds of their misinterpretations. Now we have learnt in the second pada, Vyasadeva clarified the meaning of number of passages in the Upanishads where the ultimate object of description is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but where the meanings is not clear. Now in the third pada, he is clarifying the texts that seem to describe the jiva or the material nature. But in reality, he is describing the Supreme Lord, who is the ultimate cause behind everything, and being the compiler of the Vedas and an incarnation of the Supreme Lord, Vyasadeva, he understands all these passages better than anyone else. And here in this Govinda Vasya, Baladev Vidyabhusana explains his conclusions, adding the references to the verses described in each passage and elaborating on the logical discussion that lead to the conclusions which are stated in the various sutras in Govinda Vasya. And as you know, Govinda Vasya, we say that Baladev Vidyabhusana has written. That is very correct, but that was dictated by none other than by Govinda Dev only. That is why the Supreme Lord has dictated him and he was just writing down. That's why all these things given here in Govinda Vasya, they are totally authentic. There is no other authentic literature than this, because these conclusions, they are enriched by explanations of various acharyas also, and even in Srila Prabhupada's various books, we find the interpretations of the Vedanta Sutra, where the things, the meanings are made clear, and more of it we'll see later on. And here in this third pada, here what is happening here? The abode of heaven, the earth, the material creations, they refer to the Supreme Lord. This is what we have learned. And because the words they specifically describe him, and also it is described that he is attained by liberated souls, and the liberated souls, they do not stay in the heavenly planet, they stay in the Lord's own planet. The abode of heaven and earth is also not pradhana, because there is no word denoting it in any of the passages in the Upanishads. and it is also not the jiva for the same reason, and also because the difference between them is clearly described, the difference between the jiva and Paramatma or the Supreme Lord. It does not refer to the jiva because of the context of the passage. Therefore, in this Vedanta Sutra, all the meanings are contextual. Contexts are different, the meanings become different. Now the Mayavadis, they take advantage of this and they try to misinterpret it. Why they try to misinterpret? They just to reach their conclusion. And what is their conclusion? There is no difference between the Jiva and the Supreme Lord. So that is, and we have seen enough that they are totally on the wrong path, and we are on the right path because we are reading the explanations of the previous Acharya. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Any other questions, comments before we conclude?
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Sharad Prabhu.
राजकुमारी जी, आप
हाँ
समझ
जी
पाए नहीं? आप समझ पा
हाँ जी
रहे हैं ना?
हाँ जी भाई जी
ये डीप फिलोसफी है, थोड़ी
हाँ
बहुत
थोड़ा सा
कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, मगर ये
थोड़ा सा
जिस तरह से प्रसाद प्रभु जी ने एक्सप्लेन किया, तो आई बिलीव इट्स मच बेटर अंडरस्टूड, यू नो।
बहुत अच्छे से किया। आपकी स्लाइड भी बहुत अच्छी हैं और
थैंक
मैं
यू।
2-3 बार जाती हूँ, पढ़ती हूँ तो फिर क्लियर हो जाता है।
I will
थैंक
also
यू।
share the grid in group chat. Okay. So you see that also gives a better clarity, Mataji.
हाँ,
Rajkumar.
ये आपका जो चार्ट आप अभी देखा, इट्स वेरी नाइस। ये आप उसमें आप शेयर
प्रसाद
कीजिएगा।
प्रभु जी, you can share that slide, last slide, but what I would suggest, split into 2 parts, you know. All 7, instead of showing 7 on the same slide, it's kind of very difficult to read, you know. So if you split 3, 4 like that, you know. So the font size will be bigger, you know. Sanjeev Prabhuji, do you want to comment anything here?
Yeah, Prabhuji came and then again.
Oh, he left. Okay. All right,
Sanjay
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji is Krishna. I
Sharad
think he lost
Prabhuji,
his
do we?
Yeah, Hare
we
Krishna
need to
Prabhu.
conclude? Oh, there you are.
So,
There you are.
so wonderful.
I just was wondering if you need to come, if you have
No,
any
I
comment.
just want to, Prabhuji, I just want to appreciate Prasad Prabhu. Very, very unique, different, and sweet style of narration. Really,
Yeah.
really touches our heart. So, thank you, Prasad Prabhu. I think
Thank you,
you nicely absorb, integrate, and then tell us. So, very inspiring.
Thank you.
And of course, thank you.
It's not just
for
mercy of
doing this.
PPTs, Prabhu. Char Prabhuji.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Yes.
my
Thank you,
PPT
sir. Prabhu.
serves just as a preliminary. It's like a kind of a instrument, you know, just as a kind of something to guide you through, you know. But that your realizations,
Yes.
everyone has their own realizations, so those are also very, very important.
Yes.
See, when I write my PowerPoints, it reflects my own realizations of studying these things, you know. Okay, Sharad Prabhuji, I think it's the time for
Thank
the
you. Thank you very much.
conclusion.
Probably I have got one request. Next Sunday is my class, and I'll be covering only 2 sutras in that class, 8 and 9. And in the next, the others, 10, 11, 12. So I'll request, please go through them because they are very, very important and a little complex. That's why if you have read the slides, then the understanding will be much better. That is my request.
Exactly.
Okay, Prabhuji, sure.
And recap session will still make it much more easier to understand, you know.
Yes, probably.
Yes.
Then we
Very
can
good.
continue the class with the Lusinga prayers.
Yes, Prabhu, Rajkumari Mataji, would you like to do?
Yes, I do, Mataji. Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, प्रहलाद लाद दायिने, प्रहलाद लाद दायिने, हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः शिलाटङ्कालनकालाये, इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा, यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा, बहिर्नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा, नरसिंहदिं शरणं प्रपदे, तव कर कमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गाम्, केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, तव कर कमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गाम्, केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे। जय हो नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव, जय हो नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव, जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज, जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज, जय हो प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय हो प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव 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 गुरुदेव। जय हो सब संतों की, जय हो सब डिवोटीज की, जय हो सब प्रभु जी, माता जी, चारू भाई जी, शरद प्रभु जी, अर्चना माता, समता माता, जय हो सबकी।
एक
हरे
बहन।
थैंक यू माता जी, थैंक यू प्रसाद प्रभु जी।
हरि बोल।
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam to all devotees.
दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण।